afternoon, everybody. ODAAT Wolf here. I just want to bring you up the speed on things. Today is August 16th, 2020. It is right now 2:15 in the afternoon. Just a milestone in my life. As you guys see, a number 8 behind me. Yes, 8 years sober. I would not change it for the world of me. I was thinking, I remember when I first started to get sober, it's like seeing all these people with a lot of sobriety and everything. It's like, how do they do it, for that long of a time? And honestly, I didn't think I would be here this long. I never thought I would make it even to my 40th birthday, because I started getting sober when I was 38. Yeah, I was 38 years old, 37, 38 when I started, and then when I actually got sober, I was 38 years old. And so I honestly never thought I would make it this far. The last drunken episode I had, if you watch a previous video, I talked a little bit about my sobriety and everything. But in my last video that I did about my sobriety, I even mentioned to you guys. My last drinking episode was August 15th. I have been drinking all day. I don't remember much about that day. I do remember walking into my apartment on that day, briefly, seeing my best friend and seeing my youngest sister in the apartment. Then after that, I don't remember anything. Apparently I had gone out driving. I was out driving around, and apparently I guess I popped one of my tires. I don't remember none of this. Literally, I was in a blackout. Like I said, I only remember seeing my best friend, her, she works at a police department, and my youngest sister. I briefly remember seeing them, and that was it. And the next thing I know, I was waking up on a jail cell floor, cold floor, no bench, just a toilet in there, and a roll of toilet paper. And I was the only one in there. And so I remember waking up, looking around, and I'm like, what the heck did I do? So I walked over to the door, I knocked on the door, deputy came over, and I asked him what I did, and he said I didn't do nothing, that I was brought there for my safety, and not to worry, that I was getting ready to be released soon. I said, well, what time is it? And he told me it was shortly after 3 a.m. in the morning. I'm like, wow, okay. Because the only thing I remember before drinking was my now ex-wife and I, we had separated. We was living in an apartment. I was at the apartment on the 15th. I remember going to a place called Walk Around. It's a Chinese place where they give you a lot of Chinese food, really cheap. I remember going there, picking up some food, and then on my way home, I stopped by Rite Aid, that was across the street from where I lived at the time, the apartments, picking up a large bottle of vodka, the biggest one, And so I remember eating something, and I remember starting to drink, but I don't remember going out driving. I don't remember none of that. It's nothing to be proud of. And like I said, I just remember walking into my apartment. There was my best friend and my youngest sister. I later find out from my best friend, apparently, I call it butt dialing. She said I was calling her and hanging up, calling and hanging up, calling and hanging up. So she got my youngest sister, and they went to go check on me. And, I guess my apartment was unlocked. That's how they got into my apartment and everything, and waited for me to show up. Well, I don't know what to say, very embarrassing. I'm grateful I didn't kill somebody that day, or myself, or some little kid hit a little kid on a bike or something, because it's embarrassing, to know that my drinking was that bad. I know it was bad because prior to that, several months prior to that, I had gone out and had a few drinks at a local bar not far from where we lived. And I remember going in there having some drinks, and the next thing I know, I was waking up on the ground, laying next to my driver door in the parking lot. That's another bad one. I don't remember, blackout. So I know I would drink and drink and drink until I would black out. I was drinking anywhere from a fifth to the liter of vodka a day, the biggest bottle of vodka a day. But that wasn't just all me. The ex-wife was just drinking just as much as I was, I believe. And so sometimes we would drink all that and start on a second bottle. And, my sobriety started, I started trying to get sober back in January 1st of 2012. And I remember waking up 6 o'clock in the morning, getting dressed, walking out to the living room. And my now ex-wife is sitting in the living room already drinking, and she asked, what was I doing? Where was I going? I said, I can't do this anymore. I needed help. And that was the start of my in and out of recovery homes. I would get out, relapse. I would get myself right back into a rehab and try to beat this thing. And I couldn't just grab a hold of it. I don't know why. And this last rehab I went into was a men's home, the Victory Outreach for men. And they have men in there. It's all men. 2 bunks to a room, so total of 4 beds. It's a 4-bedroom house. And being in there, I was in there with people that were either court committed because they had to go there because the judge said they had to, or they were on parole or something. They were forced there. It's not that they were wanting to go there. There might have been a few of us. I remember when I got released from jail. Well, let me back up. Just before I got released from jail, after I had asked the deputy what I did, and they told me I didn't do anything, I went back and I laid down on the floor because that's the only thing. There was, like I said, no benches in there or anything, nowhere to sit. So I laid down on the floor. I took the roll of toilet paper, put it up behind my head. I remember that. And I remember dozing off, and as I'm standing at a funeral right now, it was clear as day. It wasn't like a dream that's very vivid, but this was very, very, very real. It's almost like God removed me and put me in an outer body experience. But I was looking at myself laying in a casket. I remember looking down at myself, and it was me laying in a casket. And I think that was God's way of saying, you need to get your stuff together because this is where you're going to end up. And from that point on, I've gotten sober. So I remember getting released that morning about 4:30, just before 4:30 in the morning. I got my phone and I get out. I try calling my ex-wife for a ride home. Couldn't get a hold of her. Tried calling some family members. Couldn't get a hold of nobody. And so I happened to notice there was a message on my phone from my best friend. And, I owe her so much because, if it wasn't for her, get me in that place, I wouldn't be here today, I don't believe. But there was a text message, and I read it, and it says, when you get out, give me a call, I'll pick you up. What kind of friend does all this to help you, save your life? To me, that's a friend. And this friend knows who they are. Hopefully they'll watch the channel, and hopefully they'll leave a comment. Because in the last several years since I've gotten sober, I kind of grew apart, not really talking to much of any of my friends. So if she sees this, I hope she does. Thank you. I owe you. But I just don't think I would have been here today, because if I continued down the path I was on, I would have been dead by now. I definitely would have been dead by now. And so I called her, and she picked up right away. She goes, okay, I'll be right there. And so I started walking down the street from the jail, and I didn't even get a block or two down, and she showed up. Keep in mind, she didn't live about 3 miles from the jail, but I don't know if they had notified her that I already got released or something, and she was already on her way or what, because as soon as I called, I didn't even get a block down the road, and she was there. She picked me up in her van, or SUV. I want to say it was a van. And I get in the front seat, and behind me, I didn't realize it was my youngest sister. So she goes, so, what you gonna do? And I said, go home. She goes, no, you can't go home. I said, why not? She goes, you don't have your apartment key. I said, well, I'll go through the window. She goes, no, you can't go through the window, because if somebody calls it in, you're gonna get yourself in trouble. Somebody's gonna think you're breaking into that place. And she goes, I think you need to go to a rehab. And I said, well, after I get my stuff done and squared away, taken care of, I'll get into a rehab. She goes, no, you're gonna go. And she goes, I've already got a place set up for you. She goes, you just gotta commit to a year, and they won't let you take any hot meds, meaning like antidepressants or anything like that. I'm like, no. She goes, no, you can't go back to your apartment. You can't go. And so, needless to say, she goes, you just gotta commit to a year. Just talk to them. So I talked to them. They said, yeah, I gotta commit to a year. So I said, fine. And I said, where's this place? She said, it's right down the road. And so she took it, and they took me there. I remember them. She already had some of my stuff in the van, believe it or not. And I went into this home at 4:30 in the morning, and I'm thinking to myself, oh wow, the home opened up. The leader, they prayed over me, they talked to me, told me what's expected, and this and that. And so I went in there. They don't give you nothing for detox. It was pretty much white knuckle, and I was like a roller coaster mess for a week and a half. I was just, one day I'm bawling my eyes out like a grown man. Next day I was bawling my eyes out. Happy as can be, bawling my eyes out, happy as can be, bawling my eyes out, happy as can be. I was just a disaster. And so, I mean, sweating like crazy, shakes, you name it, real nausea, the worst DTs you could ever imagine. So, I got past that. In this rehab, I call it rehab, it was a men's home. You had to be up at 5 o'clock in the morning, every morning, with your bed made, your teeth brushed, and you had to be in the sanctuary by 5:15. And then you had to pray for about 30 to 45 minutes. And then once you did that, then would have a guest speaker come in, and they would do some talking about read the Bible a little bit, talk about the Bible. Or one of us would get up, read the Bible, talk about what did that mean to us, what we had just read, and talk about that until about 6:30 in the morning, 6:45. And then after that, we would all sit down at the table. They would have these folding tables, and we would sit down at the table, and everybody would eat at the same time. Now, you only got water, and sometimes they had milk, but there was no sodas. Sometimes they had juice, but no soda, no snacks or anything. You got 3 meals a day, And then after you ate, they had people assigned to different jobs. Like I end up, after I went through my detox, I got assigned to the fine food bank. So that was how you paid for your stay. You went out and you worked for anywhere 4 to 8 hours a day for free, and that's how you paid for your stay, your food, everything. Now, in this home, there was no couches, no TV, showers 3 minutes. When you got home from doing your job site, you were to take a quick shower, and you had after you did that, you're allowed to get a bite to eat if you were for lunch or whatever, if you didn't take nothing. And then read the Bible, read scriptures, and study the Bible, and talk about it. And then from there, you probably would go out either to Bible studies, or you go out and minister and talk with people on the streets, like the homeless people or different people out there, and share your experiences with them. And then from there, we would come back, brush our teeth, go to bed. And then if you got caught doing something you weren't supposed to be doing, or being disobedient, you had to write scriptures and write scriptures. I mean, you would write certain scriptures over and over. Like you would in kindergarten, I would not talk during class, 100 times or whatever. But this, you would write scriptures, and just scriptures. If you weren't writing scriptures, they would take you out to a dirt field, a big dirt field, and they would square it off, and you had to rake lines, straight lines down. They all had to be perfect. And once you did that, then you had to go the opposite way, then another way, just constant for hours of raking lines. You just rake lines. And so I'm thankful I never had to write scriptures out. I never had to go break lines, but there were guys that got in trouble and that had to do that. The beds weren't the most comfortable bed. You could feel the springs in them. You got one pillow, so I was so used to using multiple pillows, so I would use my little bag. My clothes were in a bag, literally a garbage bag, and so I had a garbage bag for my clean clothes and a garbage bag for my clean clothes. And so I would just ball up one and put it under and put my pillow on that. And again, 3-minute showers. You weren't allowed to make any phone calls. You're not allowed to have your cell phone or anything. On Sundays after church and after everybody ate lunch, everybody was entitled to one phone call for that week. And they give you 5 minutes to call whoever you want. So, for example, if I was to call my mom and my mom did not pick up, I didn't get a chance to talk to her, that was my phone call for the week. You didn't get a chance to call somebody else. You had one call, and they give you 5 minutes, and if that person didn't pick up, sorry, you didn't get another chance. So that was a little bit stressful. If you had to go to court, like I had to go on to court on a case, they send somebody with you, watch you, everything, listen to everything going on. So I did that for 2 months. All my 2 months exactly, because I'm not proud to say, but I did sneak a few calls, and I would try to call my mom and stuff, because there was a few times I got left back at the house and instead of going to the job site. And I remember on my 2 months, I called my mom. I told her, "You guys come get me. I'm done with this place. I can't do it anymore." Just some personal reasons. I felt I was ready to move on, and I didn't need to be there, and I felt like I needed to grow outside of there. I remember packing up my bags And I started to walk out the door, and the youth leader that was in there, and that was the leader of the room I was in, he goes, "You can't leave." And I'm like, "Why not?" He goes, "You can't leave. You're nothing but an alcoholic. You're going to relapse, da 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 da." I'm like, "No, I'm done with this place. I'm gone. I can't do it anymore." He's like, "No, you can't, try to get me to stay." And I'm like, "No, I'm done. I'm not going to ever drink again. I'm going to stay sober." And he's like, "Whatever, I can't hold you, back from going." And so I started to walk away. About the time I got down to the end of the street, my mom and my stepdad show up. Now, my stepdad gets out of the car, my mom stays in the car, and my stepdad starts to put my stuff in the car. And, bless his heart, because, he was very proud of me. Because he would tell people that all the time. But, excuse my language, I remember clear as day him saying, "If you change, effing prove me wrong." I'm trying to keep it clean because I don't want to be cursing on my channel. But yeah, that's what he goes, "If you change, you effing prove me wrong." I said, "No, I've changed. I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm done. I'm tired." And so we got in the car, we went. I stayed with my mom and them for a short time, for about a month, up until about past my birthday in November. I left there about the end of November, and I moved in with my sister that's under me, and I rented a room from her, and I had to share the room with my nephew. I did that for up until about March, and then I moved out of her house in March, and I rented a room from an older lady from March to June of 2013. And I had just met Esther in January 8th of 2013. I met her online, Zeus of all places. And went on little dates here and there. I didn't have a lot of money. I was doing security for a private security company, running security at the local county for them. I was running their little department. I had about 5 guys under me, 6 guys. And just was doing that, focusing on my sobriety. And then Esther asked me to move in with her, "Hey, why don't you just move in with us?" It was her and her daughter. Her mother had gotten ill, fell ill, and was in the hospital. So I said, "You know what, all right." So to help Esther out and everything, so I could take her to go see her mom, and I would help her by buying groceries and help pay what I can. I moved in with her in June of 2013. And, ever since we've pretty much been together, especially after we moved in, we moved in together. We really helped each other, when we need it. If she needs something, I wouldn't hesitate to help her buying something or paying for something, and vice versa. So, and all this, I didn't keep nothing from her. I didn't keep nothing from her family. I was very open about my sobriety with them, and they're all very proud of me. They were very respectful. I remember the first little family get together I went to. It was at Red Robin, and it was for one of the brothers' birthday, I believe it was. And the brothers asked me, "Hey, do you mind if we have a drink?" I said, "No, go ahead." They said, "No, if you don't want us drinking, we won't drink." I said, "No, I'm fine. You guys could have a drink." And I thought that was very, very respectful. And I think they did that one other time after that also. You know, they don't ask now when we got together. But, you know, I'm strong in my sobriety, and, you know, to get there, the first year was really hard. The first 30 days was really hard. 60 days was harder. 90 was even really hard. They got pretty easy up until I got close to 6 months, and they got harder and got harder. And then after 6 months, it got a little bit easier. And then as I got closer to 9 months, it got really hard, and then got easy again. And then just before my 1 year, it got really hard. But then after my 1 year, it just seems like it got, you know, I don't know if I fell off that little pink cloud, and, you know, reality set in that, hey, I can do this. But, you know, kid you not, to this day, 8 years later, I always get a little daily reminder, whether I come across a empty bottle of vodka or some type of hard liquor. Somewhere I always come across one. Like, for an example, this morning, out on my morning walk in the street, laying in the street, the path I always take was one of the little shot bottles. It was a little shot Cutler one empty bottle. You know, I think it's God's way of sending me little messages every day, you know, my reminder. Because there's not one day goes by I don't get a reminder like that. And it's not like I'm out looking for it. I'm just walking along and boom, it's right there. So, you know, so you always got to be aware of your surroundings with going through the sobriety. My best advice, if you're trying to get sober, you're going to have to find a new group of friends. If you don't have a group of friends that are very supportive, then you don't need them in your life. You know, find a group of friends that are very supportive, that understands what you're going through, because you may need that support. Because I can't begin to tell you how many friends and relatives I have eliminated out of my life because of my situation. Also, avoid putting yourself in situations like going down an alcohol aisle or going to your favorite store where you buy your stuff. Like mine was Rite Aid at the time. I avoid that Rite Aid store, even though I used to get my prescriptions filled out that one. I had my prescriptions transferred to another Rite Aid, so I didn't even have to go into that one. I avoided that one for like 2 years. I didn't go down an alcohol aisle for a year. I just avoided that stuff. And, you know, don't let anybody tell you you can't do it. You can do it. You've got to put your mind to it. You know, never underestimate yourself. Be proud of what you're doing. Put yourself out there like I'm doing. Expose yourself. Hold yourself accountable. Up until about 2 years ago, on my phone I had an app. I had an Android at the time, so it was called Clean Time on that one. And then on this one, iOS, they have an app, but it's not as great as the one that I used to have. But I would post every day a screenshot of my number of days, and it says, hi, I'm Jason, I'm an alcoholic, X amount of days or whatever. And I would share that on Facebook with all my friends on Facebook every single day. Because if I slipped up, I know they would call me on it, you know. So again, hold myself accountable. I wanted my friends to know I wasn't going to keep anything a secret, because what I've gone through has made me who I am today. And if I could help somebody, maybe save their life by just talking or them hearing this video, you know, you're not alone in this. If you ever need somebody to talk to, my email's in the description. Send me an email, and I'll get back to you. And or send me an email with your phone number. I'll call you. We could talk about it. By no means am I a sponsor. No, I'm not a sponsor. I was also in early sobriety. I put myself to a test of doing 90 and 90, meaning 90 meetings in 90 days. And I would even do more meetings than that. And then I would read the Bible, Psalms and Proverbs all the time. You know, and so before COVID happened, I was doing a meeting probably once a month. I was trying to do at least a meeting once a month, if not once every month, every other month, I'm sorry, and go to a speaker meeting. Speaker meetings, I seem to get a lot out of speaker meetings. Going to an actual just regular meeting, I get some out of that, but I prefer speaker meetings. Just listening to some old timers with a lot of experience going through what I'm going through. And so, again, you don't have to eliminate people, places, and things. And much as it hurts, that's the best thing to do. And never be afraid of who you are. Don't be afraid to put it out there like this, because even though you might think it might be embarrassing or it might be this or that, just somebody hearing this could potentially save somebody's life. You never know what somebody else may be going through or what they need to hear. I might have said something here to help that person. I have no clue. I do know this. I got 8 years today. I'm super proud of it. And I'm looking forward to another 8 years. And another 8 years. Ever since I met Esther, she's always given me my coins. Like today, she gave me my coin today. This is one of my coins, my 8-year coin. She gave me this one. I don't know if you guys can see it. And then she gave me this one, a Phoenix coin. And for my 5-year anniversary, I had got this on my arm. It's a Phoenix tattoo with my sobriety date there, as you see. It's kind of upside down, sorry guys, but I want to eventually get that finished up. I want to sleeve that whole arm. But I just wanted to come on here, talk a little about my sobriety, and thank everybody from the bottom of my heart for all your love and support. It means the world to me. It means a lot to me. And by no means am I ashamed from where I come, because it's made me into the person I am today. Today, Esther and I went out for a little drive this morning. We drove out to Yucaipa. We went and tried some this little place we've been wanting to try called Corky's. Great food. They give you enough food for 2 people could share. Their pancakes are about a 1/4 inch, almost a 1/2 inch thick, and about 14 inches in diameter. Kid you not, you get 2 of them. So we ordered pancakes. We didn't know this. We'd never been there, so we wanted to try it. We pass it all the time when we go out to LA to visit my stepdaughter. And I always keep saying I want to stop there and try it. So Esther got that. She got scrambled eggs with sausage and bacon and home-style fries, and biscuits and gravy with a side of pancakes. And then I got a beef, I forget what it's called, something that's sliced roast beef with toasted sourdough parmesan with an Ortega green chili and pepper jack cheese. It was good food, don't get me wrong, but just alone with what Esther got, and we didn't realize how big of portions they give, we could have shared that, just one, and still probably had left over. So if you guys ever want, go try that place, Corky's, Corkys, Corky's Restaurant. They're in Yucaipa, California. I think there's several other places that have throughout California that they are. But give it a shot. For tonight's dinner, birthday dinner for myself and for Esther's birthday. Tomorrow's Esther's big 50. Esther turns 50 years old tomorrow. So I bought us some, I know I'm saying it wrong, but the Wagyu steaks, the real marbly steaks, Wagyu, W-A-G-Y-U. I got her a New York steak about yay big, and I got me a ribeye about like that. So I'm going to do them on the grill tonight with a baked potato and a salad. That's going to be our birthday dinners for my birthday and her birthday tomorrow. So we're having that tonight. And then tomorrow we're going to make, for Esther wants for her birthday dinner, is she makes this what's called Spam fried rice. If you ever had Spam, but she uses Spam with cauliflower rice. Oh my God, you put the veg. It's just like eating regular fried rice, but with Spam chopped up little tiny squares. Is phenomenal. And so we're going to have Spam fried rice tomorrow. So, well, that's enough of that. I'm going to let you guys go. I'm going to get in here, go do a few things, relax. I got to ice my knee. My knee's kind of bothering me today. It's very humid here in the valley. Last time we checked was 26% humidity, but earlier this morning when I went out for my walk at 7:45 to be exact, I left to go for my morning walk. It was already 94 degrees and it was 55% humidity. And it was quite warm. The humidity's come down, but right now it's about 115 out with about 26% humidity, and it's really kicked up my arthritis. This is the first time I had the arthritis pain like this because of the humidity and the moisture in the air. Sometimes I wish it would just rain and get it over with, but hey, it is what it is. So, guys, with that being said, I'm going to let you guys go. You guys have a great day. Sorry this video ended up being a little long, but that's my story. I just want to share it with you, put it out there, and hopefully it'll help somebody. Or if you know somebody that might help, like, share, do what you got to do. And we'll talk to you guys soon. Have a great day, stay sober, and be blessed. God bless you guys.